Welcome back, traders, to another episode of Nasdaq 100 weekly highs, weekly lows technical analysis video. Now, I hope your trades have been going really well, guys. I hope your trades have been going really good. Okay, and before we get into the assessment or the analysis for the markets, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, right? Because I'll be releasing videos pretty much every day, and you want to be notified when I release a video. So make sure you hit those buttons so that whenever I release a video, at least you'll be notified, and then you can pop over and have a quick look. All right? Okay. So with that said and done, we're going to get into what we were talking about doing the last video that I did on the Nasdaq 100. Okay, and there were a couple of recommendations that I made, right? And also as well, whenever I make recommendations, it's always important that you realize that I am not a financial advisor or giving you financial advice, right? Everything here that you see is upon you to do the research to make sure everything that you see here makes sense before you go and action anything in the markets. All right, so this is what I said in the last video that I did, okay? Because this red zone that we've marked out over here is the daily FVG taken from the daily time frame, right? And what essentially happened yesterday, as we found out that Trump had won the election, my sentiment was price was going to come down. But however, it turned out I was wrong. Price went up. But do you know where price went down? On gold, right? So I may have confused the two when I was saying what I was saying, right? I don't think I did, but however, that's what happened. So gold went down, Nas went up, right? I was in gold. That worked out very well yesterday, right? Very well. And we'll talk about that in the next video that I do on gold. So in regards to this situation over here, okay, because like I always say, because the market does what market wants to do all the time, right? It's always important that regardless of your bias, you put in positions that kind of protects itself if things go wrong. So for example, I said something along the lines, something like this. So let me see if I can find it, right? So I said if I was going to be, because this was the FEG taken off the daily time frame, I assumed price was going to come down, and I said the zone that I would be looking at should price come down will be this number right here. So this is where I will have my sales. Okay, so let's analyze this area a little bit better to see what would have happened. All right, so chances are if you did put in that trade, my apologies, but chances are you would have been triggered in, right, and you would have been stopped out. Okay, there was a very high probability that would have happened. Okay, that's why I always say it's super important to check the work to make sure everything makes sense before you jump in, because market conditions are always changing, right? Always changing. So in this area, what happened here was this: price went into the FVG, came down from the FVG. If you was in at this level, you would have been triggered in, then price blasted up, and then depending on where you had to stop, if you had to stop here, that would have got hit. That would have got hit, right? So let's clean everything up, and then let's begin another assessment to kind of help us figure out where everything is, right? And also remember what I was telling you guys in regards to the daily count, right? That from Tuesday onwards, you want to start looking out to see if the high or the low is in, right? So where you would have got that indication in regards to what was taking place between Monday and the Wednesday, right? Before we got to, between the Monday and the Tuesday, before we got to Wednesday, was that this daily high that was set on the Monday was taken out on the Wednesday. Okay, so you would have been right to assume, and that's all you could have done at that point, was that the Monday low had been set up. Normally I expect the low to come in either on from Tuesday onwards. So a low on a Tuesday makes more sense to me, right? And a high on a Tuesday also makes a lot of sense to me. But I do know that we sometimes we get them on a Monday, right? So that's what happened in this case. If you were paying attention, you would have been able to turn yourself around, especially when market left the FVG, you would have had an opportunity to turn yourself around, right, and ride it to the upside, at which point you would have made up all of your losses. So let me clean everything up off this chart, and then let's just reassess how everything could have gotten done, and then let's look at the overall picture as to what market is doing now, right? So just give us a few moments just to get rid of all of these levels, because we no longer need them. Some of the stuff we have here we are going to keep, but for the most part, this FEG we're going to get rid of because that's been violated. It's no longer relevant. Last week's previous low, we want to keep that there, right? And we want to keep this FVG in place, and we want to get rid of these ascending channel. We want to get rid of that one as well. Let me see if there's anything else we need to get rid of. Okay, let's get rid of this FVG as well. We'll pick that one up later on if we need to. All right, so for the longest, guys, right, I've been talking about this zone up here that price wants to get there, right? And last week I thought it did. I thought it was going to get there, and it didn't. It came back, but ultimately it came all the way back up, and it went up to that zone and it's gone beyond it, right? So if you was able to have seen that this morning, I expect you to be in long positions right now, right? That's what I would do if I was trading the NAS, right? But in all fairness, what I would have most likely would have done had I been trading the NAS was, as soon as price came down, actually let me bring everything back again. It's going to make a lot more sense once I bring everything back. I think, yeah, this is good enough. We'll leave it like this, right? So as soon as, okay, so say beginning of the week, Monday, we get the market does its thing on a Monday, right? And then we get a Tuesday, okay? And then on that Tuesday, the daily high of the Monday is taken out, right? Daily high of the Monday is taken out, but however, it is still in line with my overall bias that price is going to tap into the FEG and move down. So putting in sales at this location kind of made sense because of this FEG in this location over here. But soon as price closed above this FEG, so that basically means on this candle up here, okay, I would have started looking for long positions, because I would have assumed at that point this here is the weekly low, bearing in mind today is Wednesday, right? And it's heading up, and chances are it's going to take out this weekly high over here, which it has done. So the weekly high has been taken out, and like I said, if you positioned yourself down here, okay, if you positioned yourself down here and you took a loss, right, based on what we'll be discussing on this channel for the longest period of time, right, okay, you would have known that it would have been a good idea to start putting in long positions up here, especially on this candle. Disregard everything at the bottom because that's all 50-50, but on these candles up here, you would have had the opportunity to ride it to the upside, and if you were able to get it, your loss in this area you would have made back, right? No one said that this stuff's going to be easy, right? You have to keep yourself dynamic in the market at all times and know that your bias could be blown apart, okay? Just because you've put it there doesn't mean market is going to obey your analysis. It's going to do what it wants to do, and you have to make sure that you're prepared to take advantage in case it turns itself around. You're able to seize that opportunity when it presents itself. So we're going to look at these levels where you could have jumped in, right? So that's this weekly high over here taken from this location that was set last week Wednesday, and that would have been 20680.4. That's this level right here, okay? You would have had an opportunity to seize that, get in on that position, okay? This level of the daily high is also super important as well, okay? Obviously, it's past tense, so it's no longer relevant, but I'm just going to call it out anyways. So let me just change this to white. And that would have been 20151.9, okay? So that would have been the level to let you know, to say, hey, price is taking out a daily high. Even though the FVG is in this area, I think I need to be a little bit cautious, right? Whether or not you put your sell down here is touch and go, because when everything is playing out in real time, it is really, really, really difficult. Like, anyone that is trading knows this piece of information, right? It's so easy for me to get on here and do everything in hindsight, and it all makes sense in hindsight, but when you're trying to do it in real life, it is super difficult. And that is the reality for every single trader that there is, right? Is that analyzing market in real time is the hardest thing you can do, but it's the one thing you absolutely have to master. That's why I create videos every single day, because in creation of these videos every single day, I too am improving my overall analytical skills, right? So that's why it's super important to double check everything you're hearing, okay? So now that we've gotten all this out of the way, right, let's look at where the Nas could actually be heading to, right? Because this bullish run that is on right now, I believe is going to go a lot higher, because it has taken out a resistance level. This is an old resistance level, okay, set in July 2024. This one right here, right? This is the level that has just been taken out. It's an old one, right? Now, if I go to a 4-hour time frame, if I go to the 4-hour, right, you're gonna see, bearing in mind that obviously this is the trend line that I've just put on here, is following the necessary levels in order for it to be legit, right? So it's following that. So in my opinion, I think the Nas wants to get up here, right? So what I need to do now is go back on a daily time frame, okay, and see if there's anything to support the Nas being at the level where it is right now. So let's go to a weekly. Okay, so right now as it stands, market is at an all-time high. It's at the Nas is at an all-time high right now, okay? And at this point, let me hide all this stuff. At this point, okay, you have to start preparing yourself for the possibility that price may want to retrace, right? Now, when I'm talking about price retracement, we're going to need something quite major to take place to have price make his way all the way down to, say, around these levels, okay? But however, at the same time, although it will take something major, we should expect something major coming, right? So you got to keep your ears glued to the fundamental side as to what is going on in the markets, to make sure that when price is indeed returning, you're in position to capitalize on all of that, okay? Because you can never take your eye off the ball when it comes to trading the markets. You can never take your eye off the ball when it comes to that. You always got to be on the ball. So as it stands, looking at everything as it is right now, okay, my vibe is this: the Nas is heading to this location up here, okay? So I'm just going to draw a little bubble. We're going to make it white. Now, don't hold me to this level right now, okay? Because it does not necessarily mean it's going to go there. Because remember, the channel that market is in right now has a high probability of breaking downwards, right? So although market is at an all-time high right now, we should expect some kind of pullback, okay? Might not be a super deep cut, but we want to be mindful that that situation definitely could happen. Now, as we move forward throughout the days, the weeks, and the month, it's going to become a lot clearer as to what side of the coin we need to be on. But as it stands right now and for next week, I'm expecting price to get up to this zone right here. And that zone that I'm talking about, which is just a zone, let me put it on the trend line itself, will be 22, or let me rephrase that, 22350.9. Okay, so somewhere in this area, I'm expecting price to get to it. And I'm not expecting price to go above 2300 or 23,000, right? Once it gets to this zone, I'm expecting a pullback. How big the pullback is going to be, that is something that we will discover when that moment arrives. So right about now, you should be seeing two thumbs. One of them is going to be on backtesting and the other is going to be on the previous video to this one. So go check them out, okay? Go check them out. And Let me know what you think in the comment section. Reason why I want you to go check them out is you can see how I would have made my error, and you yourself will know how to avoid that situation should you come up with that kind of rationale when you're looking at the market. Okay, so it will not be a waste of time, even though market went in the opposite direction, supposing to the one we talked about on the previous video. I think it would be worth it because we only get better through the mistakes that we make, in my opinion, right? So with all that said and done, I will see you all on the next one.